This is Coffee and Chronicles with Joe
and Key.
Cheers. Today we are introducing ourselves to our wonderful brand new podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you love us.
Joe and I work together. How we met at work. We got along immediately. We started our first day together. We were training together. Our job, we work remote, so we're both in our own home, in our own offices and stuff. So, we just got to hang out all day pretty much. And then out of training, we got put on the same team, and it's been
downhill for our manager since.
Be doing a lot of deep dives on books that we're reading. Joe and I do tend to read a lot of the same books. So we're super into romantic-y, fantasy kind of books. But we're also reading our own separate books. So we're going to be going back and forth between our own separate books, book recommendations, and then also the stuff that we're reading together. We're going to do our deep dives. We're just going to be doing some fun videos. We're really unserious, and we like to just chit chat about anything and everything books, our favorite characters, send each other memes constantly. And just us kind of goofing off and just putting our opinions together about all of our favorite stories. So
yes. What brought it about is, we literally sit there at work talking about our books anyways. So why not let everybody else know what we think?
Yeah.
Share opinions and hear what everybody else wants to talk about the books. If you want to leave your comments on our videos, we'd greatly appreciate that. One thing that is going to be important for us is the vibe that we bring is we just want everything light and fun, and definitely keep in mind that this is something that we do for fun, that it is a hobby of ours that we really love, and we just want to keep this space fun and light and positive. We don't want anybody arguing with anybody, and definitely just enjoy what we enjoy, and hopefully have people in a community that enjoy the same things with us. Absolutely. And want to see us be goofballs.
Oh, should we talk about current series that we're reading? You're gonna fucking kill me. You're gonna fucking kill me.
What?
Listen. We've been stressed out this whole week, okay?
Honestly, yeah, I don't blame you.
And on top of that, we were doing the Empyrean series, so that was taking up a little bit of time, and we were doing a deep dive on that, which is going to be coming soon to everybody. So I actually hadn't really gotten the chance to actually binge our current series that we're reading, which is Light Lark.
Yes. Yeah. So I have it here.
I've got my paperback.
So this is going to be the current or first of two series that we will be first and second of the series that we will be covering. And what we're reading right now, I have already finished Light Lark. I'm waiting on Key to fangirl and to just talk theories, talk everything. But we are going to be covering the Empyrean series. We are going to break down Fourth Wing, so that's going to be the first series of the videos that we'll be releasing weekly, as well as the Light Lark series. We are also working on other book recs for books that we've already read that we just want to talk about and yap about and fangirl about, because that's our favorite thing to do, obviously. And so Fourth Wing is going to be our the first series that we'll be releasing, as well as Light Lark. It's going to be right after that, right when Key starts reading it.
I swear I'm starting it today. Okay. Well, I've already started it, but I'm going to actually binge it today. Okay. For God. And I'm going to the beach tomorrow. I'm going to take it with me to the beach. I'm going with the family, and I'm literally just going to read all day tomorrow. That is my one and only plan tomorrow, is to just read. So I'll get her done. What do you do other than reading? Like, what do you do?
spend time with my family. I have 4 kids. Spend time with my husband sometimes, I guess. Um, sit there hostage when he makes me watch him play. And I'm just kidding, I love it. I love it so much. Um, um, we, just chill. We don't really go out and do much, or just we like to do our silent activities together. That's what I call it. So all of us just like do our own little thing together in the same room.
Nice.
And it's so nice because nobody's unhappy and nobody's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to watch this movie. That's the thing. But every once in a while there's a fun activity, but most of the time it's reading.
Yeah. I gotta agree. And that's something that I love about my relationship too, is that he's a gamer and I'm a reader, so it literally just works out.
It works so good.
It's awesome. But other than besides reading, with my husband, and I have a new puppy. I have one older puppy, one older dog, and then I have a puppy, and he's a mini dachshund. He's a dappled 3 months.
My puppy.
He's so cute. He's a handful. His name is Viserys. Something that I've been really wanting to get back into this year specifically, that I used to do a lot. Art. I really got into like clay modeling. So I've been trying to I started making like little holiday coasters and stuff like that. I'm trying to also, what is it called? I don't want to mispronounce
or crochet.
Crochet, because I think I called it a crotchet last time.
I know Shy would never.
I was like so embarrassed because I'm like, yeah, I want to crotchet, and everyone's like, what? And I'm like, my bad. I thought it was crotchet. I really thought it was crotchet, but no. I love playing with clay. I have like 30 pounds of clay right behind me. So that's it. I'm an introvert, so I stay home a lot, and that means why I work from home. So my hobbies tend to be more hermit hobbies, things that I can do just with myself.
Same.
How did you get into, because when you and I had met, you were already into like Avatar and Throne of Glass, and you were like already into it. So at what point was that kind of like what started your reading, or did you get into reading like way before?
Oh yeah, like I've always been a reader. When I was in elementary school, actually, I started, writing, doing like creating my own poems. I had written one that was like super popular amongst my like mom's friends, and I to this day cannot remember where it was posted. And I cannot remember it at all, but I remember it was one of those things where it was truly an outlet for me to express myself. And then it kind of just graduated to reading other people's forms of expressing themselves, of developing characters. And my favorite genre is fantasy, more so than anything, just because it's nicer to escape, I guess, from the realities of like having to clock in a 9 to 5, and and having to work and pay rent, or do the normal things. And it's just a nice difference, a nice contrast to what I've gone through and experienced and seen my reality, not that it's not great, but it's just nice to escape to different types of worlds.
It's really amazing that what's in their mind and the things that they create, and it's really incredible to be able to piece it together and create a story that, let me stop moving this, and and they can create a story that just makes total sense, and it's so multifaceted, and things that you literally would have never even thought of, and it's just so incredibly creative. Same. I got into reading when I was like really young. One of my favorite books I got when I was like, honestly, girl, was way too young to be. I was way too young to be reading that book. I don't know. I want to say it was maybe 14, 15. Mm-hmm. It's a book by Jude Devereaux. It's called The Knight in Shining Armor, and it is my all-time favorite book. And when I got my hands on that book, ignoring like the intimacy, because they fuck, but girl, they be fucking. But yeah, it's an incredible story, and it had me hooked. And I think I reread it so many times, and just the way that the author, when I finished reading that book, I cried for days. I was so emotional. I could never get over it. The ending, like, because of that book, that's how I really got into reading. And especially, it's not necessarily fantasy. It is sort of Regency era mixed with a little bit of fantasy. And it was like downhill after that. I remember just, like, the rest of my teen years was a collective of just me reading. My mom would have to like fight her way into the stores to get my Twilight books when those were dropping. I don't know, within the last couple of years, really the last, I would say about 2-3 years, I've gotten heavy into fantasy. I read all kinds of books, but I read so many stories that I pretty much love everything. I just love reading in general.
Yeah, definitely. It's so funny. We have like very similar stories, you know, like it was just a pathway for me. It started with the poems, with trying to write my own, then reading them, reading short stories like Edgar Allan Poe stories. He's like my favorite. I literally even have his face on my arm. You know, it's just it's crazy how like we met each other by chance, and it just took off from there. Like that was like set in stone. The stars.
And then it's so funny because I actually remember I don't know, I might have been like around 1920 when my collection was like kind of getting up there. I remember like Barnes and Noble when they started closing. I remember when they started closing their shops, and it was like so sad. I love Barnes and Noble, still do, but they literally started closing their shops because it was really a dying pastime. Yeah. Especially here in America, like you know, nobody was reading at all, and so they started shutting down so many Barnes and Nobles, and so compared to now, what was it? I think Book Talk started in 2021 with TikTok. I think it started, yeah, I think it started in 2021. And it's really just like exploded since then, which I love so much. I think it's so awesome. I love that, you know, now not only is Barnes and Noble creating so many more stores across the United States. I seen recently someone had just opened, like, the bookstore Strictly Romantasy is completely designed for romantasy lovers. So I think that's so cool that not only do we have stores like Barnes and Noble that's spreading again, but also like these little stores where girls can just go be, you know, just queens, you know? Love it. My favorite book of all time, which I already mentioned, it's up there, A Knight in Shining Armor by Jude Devereaux, and she's been writing since the 70s. 10 out of 10, recommend all of her books. They're amazing. Who's your favorite author?
I feel like I don't really have one at the moment.
No?
No, I have. I know. I really love like Akatar, Throne of Glass, but I wouldn't say like Sergeant Mass is my favorite. Like I feel like I'm still holding on like to something. I have like books that I series that I reread, like the Clockwork Angel, like the Infernal Devices by Sandy Clare. I've reread those, and I've like listened to the audiobooks like probably 15 times. And what other series did I tell you? The Gods and Monsters by Janie Marie. I've read those probably like 4 times. It's really up there, but I don't want to say it's my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's my favorite just because I feel like there's just something that I'm missing. It's
Yeah.
something that I'm missing. And I feel like that's what I'm looking for when I'm like reading these books too. Like some of them literally will just like make me cry, make me like angry, just devastation.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fine, but yeah, I can't say that I have a favorite just yet. Just ones that I really, really love. Just I've reread and reread and reread
Yeah.
so many times, but I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite book or a favorite author at the moment.
Yeah, I do have a favorite series by a completely different author. It's basically a rom-com series, but it's so funny because the series, this author, her name is Janet Evenovich, and she started the series with the first book, and the number one is in the title, and the second book, the number two is in the title, and she does it all the way up until I I think I need to catch up on the series. It's the Stephanie Plum series. Have you ever heard of it?
I feel like I have, but I can't picture it in my head.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I think I discovered the series when I was maybe 17-ish. Maybe 16, 17. But it follows the story of a girl. Her name is Stephanie Plum. She gets laid off and she's single. She has no kids. She lives in an apartment in Newark, New Jersey. And her cousin runs a bail bonds, and she's like asking for a job. And I think he was thinking of something else for her, but she saw how much money they were going to be making, like bringing people in. So she decides to be a bounty hunter. Mind you, this girl sold like freaking makeup or lingerie, was it? Or makeup or something like that. The last time they mentioned that is like by book 10, so I don't remember. I think it was makeup, might have been makeup. And she decides to be a bounty hunter, and it's the most fucking hilarious series because it would be like if you or I became a bounty hunter, just like a disaster, klutzy, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would be spilling coffee all over my files, and I would forget the keys, and I'd drop my gun and accidentally shoot someone in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny. Like, the most hilarious fucked up shit happens to her. And the book is on, I think it's like 35. And she's been writing these books for decades now. Yeah. And the series is incredible. Stephanie Plum is hilarious. She goes between a cop that she's been dating named Morelli and another bounty hunter. His name is Ranger. And it's so funny. Just the dynamics for families. Like they're from New Jersey. And so they're like kind of like over the top and like really funny, family oriented because they're Italian, you know, and yeah, it's hilarious. But that's my favorite series. I love it so much, and I really need to catch up because I think I'm like 10 books behind. Because there's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 35 total or 34, something like that.
A lot.
That
is a lot.
But that's my favorite series. And I think she might be I think Janet Evenovich is the author that I've read the most books by. For sure. Hands down. I've read 25, and I've read a fair amount of Jude Devereaux as well. And what's her name? Susan Wiggs. Susan Wiggs is another author. She writes very similar to Jude Devereaux. That's how I like found her out. But even then, I don't think anything tops my Janet Evenovich books at all. Love them. Love them.
That's fun. I'd say for me, the author I've read the most would be Sarah J. Maas and Jane Marie. She has about 5, 6 books, I believe. 7 books. So she's a close second to the Sarah J. Maas because I just finished Throne of Glass. And I really want you to finish it or start it.
I know.
Start it. But I know we have so much to do, so much to read, and I don't know when you're gonna sneak it in there, but you need to because
yeah. I need to finish Nesta's book. I need to start Nesta's book.
Yeah.
When I'm going to, but I'll probably maybe after the Light Art series, I'll do some light reading, you know?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I literally read the first 3 books, started ACOFAS, and just I have Silver Flames, and I still have not read it, and I think it's been it's coming up on 2 years since I actually read ACOTAR.
You hate Nesta. You're a Nesta hater.
I don't
I
hate
fuck with
her. I
Nesta.
just,
I
you
fuck with
know,
Nesta.
if she was my sister, I'd punch her in the throat.
Yeah, but you still love her.
Yeah. It's like,
Um,
like sibling hate, like Feyre, like she's a bitch, but she's my sister, so I'm a defender.
yeah, I fuck
She's a
with
bitch.
Nesta. Nesta, honestly, she was. I hated her at first, and then I kind of started to like her, and then I really liked her, and then I started to hate her again because she was just getting annoying the closer to the end. And
I told you.
yeah, but now when Nesta had her moment, I was like, like, okay, I need this. I need this. I need this. The books are just so long. They're so long, which you know what? I'm gonna take that back because then when I love a book so much, and I'm like, you don't want it to end, so let me take it back.
Honestly,
Because I love the lengths of all of them. I really do. Like it needed to be done, and I loved them. So
that's literally how I felt with what was it, Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. Like at first I was just like, oh my gosh, these books are so long, but then I'm like, why did it have to end? Like I didn't cry enough, I wasn't heartbroken enough, like I'm not tortured enough. It just wanted more. I wanted more. Like it was not enough. I need more.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite character?
I don't know if it's because we're going through the motions right now. It might be a little bit of a cop out, but I low-key feel like Violet is one of my favorite characters. She has really become one of my favorite characters. I love the story behind Violet. I love everything she represents, and I love the moment we meet her up until the last moment we see her in the most recent book that came out. And I'm sure when we see her in the next two books, I just really love every moment that she's done. I love what she's become, who she was, what she represents. She was essentially a weak person who became strong by sheer fucking will. And it was amazing to read. It really was. I enjoyed her character a lot. I could say one of my favorite characters is in, my favorite book, but honestly, I think I love Violet more. I love her. I literally love Violet so much. Even when in book 2, when she is being so annoying sometimes, it's understandable. It's relatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like same. You can't tell me I haven't been like that too. So
yeah, literally. And I don't want to say she's a perfect character necessarily, but she is kind of a perfect character to me. So if I had to choose right now, yeah, she's probably my favorite character. For sure.
that's a tough one. That is a tough one for me. I feel like I have two favorites. One of them being Aelin from Throne of Glass.
Ooh.
Because she gets it done. She gets it done. I don't want to tell you anything because you're like, I don't want to spoil it, but she just finds a way. And that's one of the things that we were talking about. I was talking about with you yesterday. Like it's just gonna like in our own real life, like there's just no other option of just finding the way. Like we need to find the way. That's it. And I feel like Aelin is just the perfect plotter, the perfect schemer, the perfect like I'm just gonna tie up all of the ends are gonna be tied up, and I just love her so much. And then my second favorite is the character from Gods and Monsters by Janie Marie. She is, well, it's her own character, so Jane. She is kind of the opposite. Like she's just real, she's not some like 18-year-old girl, which is like the total opposite of Aelin. She's not some like 18-year-old girl that's just like, like She is on the older side of the female main characters that we usually see in these books. I think she's like 30. She's a mom. She's real. She has scars. She has trauma. She appropriately, well, not appropriately, but she appropriately shows her trauma. She is, you know, dealing with all of that verse, and on top of it, everything else that's happening is basically like an apocalypse in this series. And I just think that she's a very realistic character. Like she would be me. Like if I was just in the apocalypse out of nowhere, I would just be like crying all the time. I probably would not survive if it wasn't for like everybody around me. So that's relatable. Yeah. And I love her for that. I love her for being real, which is like the complete contrast of like what Aylin is. She's like totally like not gonna be me. Like we were talking about this with when we're going over her fourth wing. Like that would not be me. I would not survive. I would like literally, girl, I got defeated with a gas pump. Like my kneecaps have not been the same since I just busted my kneecaps at the gas station.
Thought about that. Oh my gosh.
I cannot survive pumping gas, okay? So of course I'm not gonna survive like parapet or the apocalypse or zombies or anything. Like none of that. I will not survive. I'm dead. I will be died.
I will be died. Too.
I will be died. Eliminated for sure. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'm just a girl.
I'm just like, oh, we gotta run. Just coming out. Thank you. Most likely I'm gonna fall anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. And it's so funny because even watching like who would want to live through an apocalypse? You know what I'm saying? I'm like when I used to watch Walking Dead, I was heavy into Walking Dead when it came out. Who would want to live through that? No, absolutely.
My water.
I would die. I would want to die. Like you can't have lattes. You're constantly running from your life. Like there's no AC.
That's what I was gonna say. There's no AC. Kill me now.
No AC. Get out of here. Absolutely.
No comfy, fluffy blankets. I can't wear my slippers. I have to constantly be wearing shoes. Like it literally like the dumbest things is what would get me. Like I gotta wear pants because I go to wear jeans to sleep because I might have to run for my life. No, thank you. I'm done.
No.
I'm done. Like I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
No.
No AC. No cold water with ice in a cup. No, I don't want it.
Not the cold water.
No, like I am.
No, I have so much ice in there. It's like barely any water in there. It's mostly ice.
It's mostly ice. We would die, girl. We would die. Totally would die. No, you know what too? There wouldn't be any spare time to read.
Period. And how would you even take your books with you? There's no like you can't charge your Kindles. You can't drag all the books around with you. You can't charge your Kindles. So no. So
yeah, absolutely not. I would just take me to another world. I don't know, like figure it out because I'm just dead.
But it's really nice to read these books and pretend. You know?
Yeah, I'm just be like, I could totally do that. Like, no, you wouldn't. Like, no, I wouldn't.
I'm a Violet / Feyre in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could meet any character in any book that you've read, which character would you love to meet?
I feel like I should have thought about this first. Because I don't know. There's so many. There's too many. There's way too many. You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Honestly, the one that I want to meet the most out of everyone, I would probably like to meet like the cereal. I'm still not over that one.
Cereal.
My heart is still in a million pieces. Love him. Would love to meet him. But this is also because I just finished reading the series. I just finished reading, Farrah's perspective. So that's still heavily on my mind. I've got book hangover from it right now. But the serial probably was one of, if not my favorite character, other than Reese, you know what I mean? Which Tam, my little Tammy, I do love him. I know that's not a popular opinion because everyone calls him Tampon, but I know he will be redeemed. But I would like to meet the serial. And otherwise, yeah, I'll stick with that answer. The serial. I would like to meet the serial or Reese.
I know, might as well. As if you're in the same world, might as well.
We're gonna make a pit stop over there,
right? Dang, that is such a good question. I think I'd like to meet Jane. I think realistically, from the Gods and Monsters, just realistically, because like we're about the same age, we kind of have like, I don't know, I guess the same traumas. And I think because she's like so relatable that I feel like we would be friends. Or maybe it's just me. Like I'm gonna force her to be my friend. We're friends or else. So I think her. I think realistically, I would want to meet her because I feel like we would be friends. Out of anybody else, of course, I want to meet like literally everybody, but realistically, I think her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know me and the cereal would be besties.
Oh, duh, girl. Sipping the tea, sipping the coffee, just letting all
no, for real. For real. Honestly, other than the cereal, I would say another character that I would love to meet would probably be from another favorite series of mine. Those are my Game of Thrones leatherbacks up there. I would love to meet Khaleesi. I love Khaleesi's character so much. That's a bad bitch right there. So I would love to meet her character. I wouldn't want to be in that realm though. Like I would be obsessed with being like in Valaris or something, or being in any of the courts, really. Well, probably just the night court, but that realm I don't want to be in. I could not. No.
This goes back to we wouldn't survive, girl. We would not survive, girl.
No.
If you could live in any book world, which book or series?
Damn. That's a hard one.
For me, I think no, I was gonna say the night court, but I don't know because there's like so much going on that I'm just like I'd just be so scared in my mind that I'm so like Valaris, but like pre the wards not being like there, just like just happily just like la la la, not care about anything else. Yes, Valaris for sure. Because like I mean realistically, I would not want to be in like Throne of Glass, like that world, just because like there's some seriously stupid freaking threats. Realistically, I would die.
It's understandable. I would be a Valaris.
I would be both be in Valaris, just like
I would love to live in a court of thorns and roses, just in general, in the whole entire world or realm, in any of the night courts. Just I think it's well thought out and beautifully designed. And if I could be in Valaris, that would be fucking incredible.
Yes.
Because it's modernized. You know what I love so much are the memes that go around of like Tamlin talking horribly about the night court and Lucian co-signing him. And then they're like, oh, it's just death death and despair and then night court and they're so evil. And then it flashes to the people in the club and they're like Cassie and they're at Rita's and they're like, they're having karaoke.
At Rita's?
I was like, period. I'm going to go have karaoke night in Valaris with Cassian and Ezreal, okay? Because get off of me. Dude. What else would I want to do? Like, that sounds like a fucking great time.
Yeah, honestly.
Catch me Valaris. Catch me Valaris.
We'll just both go to Valaris.
And makes sense. We'll get a little starry apartment near, you know, the House of Wind, and that's it.
Definitely. Books we are really excited to read this year.
Oh my God.
We have so much. We have so much to read. And a lot of them are coming out this year.
Yeah, we've got a lot. I did want to ask you, do you have, did Rebecca say she's not releasing book 4 this year at all, right?
Nope. No, her next one's going to be a contemporary.
Fine. I mean, she deserves her time. If she waits 3 years. But she's working on a secret project. She's working on a secret project, and I'm really curious as to what it's going to be. If it's going to be a side character story or a prequel. And if it's a prequel, I really want a prequel of Lilith and Asher.
I was gonna say that. It has to be. It has.
I want one so bad. Not only do I want that, but you know, kind of like in the style that HBO's been making Game of Thrones. They had the story with Khaleesi, with Daenerys and Jon Snow and Cersei and all of them. But they decided to do this prequel in the House of Dragon. It's basically the war where they lost all their dragons. Like, if you read the history, like, I'm so obsessed with the fucking lore. I could talk about it for hours. And so I love the idea of them doing, I love her. And when she posted, I was like thinking of all these things that it could be. What I hope it is, the secret project, is the war from way before. That's what I'm hoping it is. Because I feel like it's going to answer a lot of questions. We have so many questions about the series in general, and every single book, like we talked about, like every single book, we get 100 more, we get some answer, but then we get 100 more questions that are just like really left up in the air. And so I feel like a lot of those questions can be answered. Like, even when we were talking about how they agreed, Xaden and Violet agreed not to tell anybody about Andarna's abilities to stop time. And so can you imagine all the history of things that have happened that are not recorded, that we know nothing about? And so I feel like doing a prequel of the war before is going to show us so much more crazier shit, because in Violet's time, so much magic and knowledge has been lost, versus in that time frame, everyone is living in it. You know what I mean? It's so crazy to think about. So I really, really hope that that's what Rebecca's working on right now. I want so bad for that to be the problem.
Or maybe like some novellas with Papa Sorrengail and Mama Sorrengail, with you know, Fen and Xaden growing up, and how that happened, how that whole
like, rebellion, maybe
rebellion, like how all that happened. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
There was another one I was gonna say, but I forgot. Or maybe one with the gods. Wouldn't that be so great? Like
that, or probably just in general, well, I mean, I guess you can't really do a show about or a book series. I mean, I guess you can about just the dragons in general, because you have to think about like a lot of stuff has definitely gone down with the dragons, especially when you like read the fables and stuff, and they're painted in not so great light, but the Irids have a different kind of magic and they pull from the sky, but the dragons. So it's like it's a whole thing. So I think that would be kind of cool if there was a project explaining the Irids and the other six dragon kinds. So that would answer questions too. But she literally that I fuck with Rebecca. She's dead ass teasing us. And she's just giving us crumbs to just think about for the next year, 2 years. And so she comes out with a book.
Yes.
I wonder if she's going to come out with the secret project first, because she is working on it, and then the other book. And then it'll be like a lot of hidden clues or answers and stuff in there for us to find until we read the fourth book. Or if she's going to come out with the fourth book first, and then it's going to be a whole other. I don't know. Teasing us, so
loves it. Loves it.
Yeah,
I don't know, girl.
But secret project is something I've been like I'm obsessively checking for. I'm constantly on her Instagram, seeing if she posted anything related to any book she's coming out with. I'm constantly looking up like the what's it called, if she like released any kind of interviews or anything that has to do with her new project, any announcements that she might have. So I'm hoping it's something that does get released this year, because I'm like way too anxious and I just need to know. I need to know. But what's the other one? Quicksilver is the series is something that I'm like, I have heard so much about. And yeah, and a lot of people are saying, like, I literally don't know anything about Quicksilver. I don't know anything. Have you read like a synopsis at all?
I did when I added it to my Kindle, but I don't remember. I've just read so many that I just like it just blurs together sometimes, and I don't know. I just remember I was like, "Ooh, I want to read that," and added it to it, and I never opened it at all.
Yeah.
So, it is one of them that I see a lot on Instagram, and just like I'm dying to read it. It just we have so much. I have so much to read.
Yeah.
I just don't even know like when to just just.
Yeah. I'm curious though, because I want to do a blind read. And so I don't really want to know anything about it, but I did accidentally see what is it called? I accidentally seen like a spoiler or whatever, not a big one, but it said something about, if you love Shadow Daddies, read this. And I was like,
obsessed immedially. Immediately obsessed.
Yeah, Shadow Daddy is, a new genre. It really is.
Instantly, I love it. Instantly, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a lot of people are saying that it's been one of their favorite depictions of a morally gray anti-hero or hero, whatever you want to call him. But it's like one of their favorite versions of what a Shadow Daddy is. So like, okay, if the collective is saying,
honestly,
must be some truth to it. So I'm excited to read that one.
I really need you to read Light Lark.
I'm going to bend it tonight, I swear.
Okay.
I swear, I'm going to read it.
Because, we love adding to the Shadow Daddy criteria. And, who's your favorite Shadow Daddy?
Zayden. It's Zayden. I have to go with Zayden. I have to.
That's fair.
You want to know why though? It's because he's the most realistic of the bunch. It's funny because I see some people say things about like Rebecca Yarros writing. A lot of people love the Empyrean series. As I'm one of those people, I'm obsessed. And so I love it so much, and I just don't see anything wrong with the book series at all. And I don't take any kind of like criticism for it, because I don't stand for that. And so people are saying, oh, why is it your favorite? And I'm like, and people would, a lot of people are just saying that they love storytelling, the world building, all this kind of stuff. And every once in a while you'll see like a negative comment. No, it's real fantasy is like high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and stuff. And I just feel like there is some truth to that, but I don't like knock Rebecca Yarros whatsoever because it's not like that. It is a very, very modern version of romantasy, I guess you could say. And my thing is that it's very relatable. There's a lot of relationship problems, family problems, and it's not really put into a universe where, you know, like kind of like the Lord of the Rings. It's very, very different. It's a lot closer to how we are as a people. You know what I mean? And so the way they speak, the way they talk to each other, her style of writing, it feels very normal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not far fetched. You know what I mean? It's not like completely removed. It's not like Regency era or something like that where you can't relate to the way that they speak or the way that they live and how families orchestrate themselves. It's a very, very relatable and realistic to me. I love it. Love.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree that Zayden is a good contender to keep a #1 top spot. You know, it's definitely between what's his name? I blanked. Azrael. But it kind of goes back, like, you know, back to what you said, like the relatability. Because I feel like Azrael is like, you know, he'd be good to look at.
Girl.
He'd be good to look at.
It's the bun for me. So
he'd be good to look at, but like realistically, first of all, man doesn't even talk.
I was gonna say maybe if I was to get a book specifically, it's like a floaty. If I was to like read a book from his perspective a little bit more, we met him and ended with Feyre's point of view because we still haven't read Nesta's yet. So we got him from almost like a brotherly vibe. You know what I mean? As obsessed as we are with him, we only see what Feyre wanted to see, so we couldn't see more of him. What we did see, we absolutely loved, but I haven't seen enough of him for me to be like, I'm obsessed with you. You know what I mean? Not yet.
Yeah. You know who I really like, and I didn't even finish the series because I didn't like the female main character. I didn't like her. She had like a few moments where I was like, kind of like Violet. I was like, dang, that's kind of badass. Like she did that, you know. But it's the Plated Prisoner series. I think I stopped in like book 3 or 4. I just really didn't like her, but I loved. I'm obsessed with Slade.
Did you Google his ending out of curiosity? No?
I just she was really insufferable, and I think that because I read the first 3 books so fast that I was just like, I literally like spent all this time reading this, and I just don't like her, and I got pissed, and I just was like,
wow.
I'm sorry, Slade. I'm done. I will never know. I would never know what you did, but I love you anyway. You're perfect anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely him is like a really like top contender because I really, really liked him. And also fighting for #1 spot, even though I've only read Lightlark, Grimm.
What? Really?
He pissed me off though. That's all I'm gonna say because you need to read it.
Oh, he's gonna piss me off then too. Because we think
fighting Grimm.
I think the only thing that we've not been on the same page about is Tampon. I ride Tamlin. I do. To me, he redeemed himself, but a lot of people are saying that he hasn't, and I'm like, what he did? Are you kidding me?
To me, it was just he's a flip-flopper. It's just like a convenience. But I just feel like he doesn't have it in him to take action on his own if it's not his own benefit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know you love him. I'm just
I
like
do love
meh.
him.
I'm meh with him. Like I don't hate him. I just,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
had to pick between two rooms, one of them had Reese and the other one had Tamlin, I'd pick Reese.
Same.
And I'd lock the door from the outside to Tamlin's room.
No. I would too, but I would keep the key. Just any other books you're excited to read this year?
Um, what was that series that we just randomly added to the cart and just found out because they were like super cute?
The Jade Presley books?
No. Oh, those two, but not those. Let me see.
Oh, the oral.
Oh no, those two. Girl, we have so much. We have so much to
I
read.
know.
Oh, it's the Nightfall trilogy. The third book is coming out in December, and I found those because they were like super pretty. And I have them in my cart in Amazon because of course I do. But I'm really excited to read those that I just randomly found because it was described as comparable to the Serpent and the Wings of Night books, and I really liked that series. Well, the first book I read it, and I started the second book. You have to get to read those too on our TBR.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we get through those also. My husband's like, I'm gonna go pick up my daughter. Can you move the controls? I'm just like for updates on our upcoming videos, we will be posting and updating you guys on our Instagram. So to be sure to follow us there. But our first official video will be the first 10 chapters on Fourth Wing. So that's going to be the Imperium series. We're going to be updating hopefully every Monday till we get through Onyx Storm. And Fridays, we will be doing a different series, which to start, we will be doing the Light Lark series.
Oh, Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we're going to be posting like videos like book racks, reaction videos. I think every Wednesday we'll probably it'll be like our unserious day and just kind of, post whatever it is that we've kind of filmed. Right?
Oh, yes. So our first unserious video, like we're ever serious, but our first super unserious video will be Key's reaction to my unhinged character depictions. So I hope you find that very hilarious and stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Links will be in the description. And see ya.
Boy.
Um,
Peace out, bitches.